So
All
if
right.
if you're sitting around the break room at work, and say the subject of guns come up, or you're right to bear arms. I don't know. I didn't look at your notes. I don't exactly know what you're
No.
trying to say.
Talk a lot of stupid shit at work. But anyway, gun control. You hear a lot about gun control, but I don't think anybody ever stops to think that we've already got gun control measures in place. When I was 18, I walked into a department store. I walked up to the counter. I bought one 7.62 by 39 millimeter assault rifle, and I bought a old Mauser Nagant 7.62 by 54 bolt action rifle. I told the lady behind the counter to give me 2 boxes of ammo. She gave me the 2 boxes of ammo. I paid cash and I walked out. I walked out of that store with 2 boxes of ammo and 2 rifles thrown across my shoulder. Nobody batted an eye. Now, for 2 years, I bought ammo at the same place because they had the ammo I liked. I bought ammo at the same place. I did a lot of target shooting. That was just kind of a thing my family did. But one day I walked in and I told her I needed 2 boxes of 7.62 by 39 millimeter rounds. She asked for my ID. Now, she didn't ask for my ID when I bought the guns, nothing. I told her I'd been buying ammo at the place for, a couple of years now. Nobody's ever asked me that. And she said, well, now, there's new laws in place, blah, 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 blah. We said, no, no big deal. Now, when my dad was that age, you could order firearms through the mail. You could order a revolver from the Sears and Roebuck catalog. They'd deliver it right to your house in the mail. No background checks, no nothing. Had no idea who had these guns. And everybody had them. I mean, the country was just awash with firearms. It's not availability of firearms that causes mass shootings and violence and all of this stuff. The thing that causes mass shootings, the thing that causes violence, the thing that causes all the things that we're experiencing now has nothing to do with the availability of firearms. It's societal decay that causes these things. And what causes societal decay? It's when our police officers, when we get to watch our police officers every day breaking the law and just running amok, when we get to turn on the TV and see the people running for president, committing felony on top of felony and breaking the law every which way but loose and walking away scot-free, and why should we obey those laws? That's where societal decay begins. Now, out of last year, out of 32,000 total firearm deaths, 19,000 of those were suicides. They were going to do it anyway. If you're going to take a gun and you're going to blow your brains out, you'll jump off a building, you'll cut your wrist, you'll do whatever. You've made up your mind it's time to go. That's something you can't avoid. You had 700 of the firearm deaths last year were accidental. Completely accidental. Now, whether or not they were handling them safely and it was someone else's fault, that's not determined on the records I was looking up. Now, the police officers last year, they killed 1,200, shot 1,200 people last year. 745 of them were men, 455 of them were women. Now, approximately the 1,200 people killed by police officers, there were 380 of those were black. There were 730 of those that were white. 161 of those shot by police officers were completely unarmed. Outside of police shootings, outside of the guns in total, a portion of those were, knives, just fighting the police hands, whatever the case may be. But suicide by cop. Yeah, there's that. That's suicide by cop right down the road from here. Just, a matter of weeks ago. Police officers fired 300 rounds at this man. And he was sitting in his vehicle. Never made a motion towards the cops. He had a shotgun in his lap. That was pretty much his own stupidity, but it happened. Now, when you get into police shootings, you get into a lot of crazy things. Like you say, out of the 1,200, roughly 1,200, 380 of those were black men. 730 of those were white. 161 were completely unarmed. Roughly about 50 to 50 were white. The other, 11 the other 61 were, a mix of other races, Hispanic, or they were just simply unreported. Now, I guess that's that. That would wrap up that one. A nice little short type video. What do you think? It doesn't